Futter.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We're delighted to have you all here with us tonight, and we are honored that our mayor and first lady have again chosen this museum as the venue for their Black History Month celebration. And we can't help but note that we are also proud to have Mayor Deblasio here, have had him here just a few weeks ago in this very room, delivering his State of the City address under the blue whale. And we extend a very warm welcome to our many partners in city, state, federal governments, and other distinguished guests here tonight. We are so appreciative of the mayor's and the city's unwavering support for this museum and our work. And we look forward to advancing that work even more broadly in our new, currently under construction, Gilder Center for Science, Education, and Innovation, none of which would be possible without the extraordinary partnership and support of the City of New York and Mayor de Blasio, who believes, as I know so many of you in this room do, that all of our children, all of our neighbors deserve the very best educational resources and opportunities. So please join me first in thanking Mr. Mayor for your sustained and committed support. Thank you. During her tenure, her pioneering tenure as First Lady, Chirlane McCray has effectively tackled a broad agenda on behalf of all of us, most prominently perhaps in mental health reform, including launching the Thrive NYC program. She also continues to fight for gender equity, LGBTQ rights, and a more inclusive and safer New York. In other words, she is definitely someone you want to have in your corner. Ladies and gentlemen, the First Lady of the City of New York, Chirlane McCray.
Whoa, you look so beautiful. Good evening, everyone. Happy Black History Month. I want to thank you, Ellen, for all you do for New York City and for welcoming us back to this incredible space. We are so glad to be back here so soon. Wow. I can't get over how gorgeous you all look. Can you all turn to the person next to you and say, my brother or my sister, I'm so glad you're here tonight. It felt good, right? I'm so glad you're here tonight. It feels good when we're all together. You know, as we gathered this evening to celebrate, I found myself thinking about how our history is defined. Because Black history is really world history, right? Yeah, our stories do not begin 400 years ago on the auction block. That's not when it all started. Black history, the stories of people of African descent, go back to the cradle of civilization, to kingdoms and empires with legendary leaders, learning, wealth, and power. And as African Americans, we are the co-authors of the grand narrative that became America. Yes. And what a tale it is. So many highs and lows, so much sorrow, sour too, and, and many, many triumphs. We are rightfully proud that despite so many challenges, we have remained a strong community. We are rightfully proud to define ourselves by our victories, our multitude of contributions to American arts, science, and civic life. We are rightfully proud of our spiritual strength in the face of adversity. Maya Angelou was so right when she said, "My mission in life is not to merely survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." To thrive, we need to be healthy in mind and body, don't you think? Right? Can't separate them. Two go together, just like this. What we used to say, like white on rice. Yeah? So, you know, at least 1 out of every 5 adults and 1 out of every 5 children experience mental illness and every year. Every year. But here are the real headlines. Less than half get treatment. People wait an average of 10 years before getting help. And did you know that half of all lifetime mental health conditions begin by the age of 14? Now, raise your hand if you knew that. Okay, I see a few hands, right? See, nobody knows this stuff. We have a lot to learn. And that's why I do the work that I do. For so many people across our great city, no insurance, no money, no papers, and a terrible stigma means no help. But we have the power to change that, all of us. If each and every one of us does our part, we can change this. If you know someone who needs help, you can pick up your phone and call our trained counselors at 1-888-NYC-WELL. And you know what? It's free. You can call 1-888-NYC-WELL if you have a family member who's struggling with addiction or substance misuse. It's free. You can call 1-888-NYC-WELL if you would like mental health first aid training so you are able to help your loved ones in your community. And guess what? It's free. So what kind of learning, what kind of training did I just say you can get? It's right. It's free. It's mental health first aid training. Can you say that? Mental health first aid training. And you know what? It's free. How much does it cost? Free. What is the number you can call and get connected to care? 1-888-NYC-WELL. You can call that number and get connected to the course to get mental health first aid training too. It's one-stop shopping, and it's free, okay? So can I count on all of you to spread the word so our people can thrive? Yes. I hope so, because we are all stars in this grand narrative that we want to continue with dignity and grace, and we can't do that if we're not well. When we look out for one another, we are all greater than our challenges, and we all do better. So thank you all. It is now my pleasure to introduce my partner in life and love, a man who clearly cares deeply for our communities, our mayor, Bill Deblasio.
Stay here 1 second. I'm just looking around the room, and now I'm looking at you, and I'm saying to myself, wifey, I'm so glad you're here tonight.
I'm so glad you're here too.
Wasn't that beautiful? She got everyone appreciating everyone. Wasn't that nice? Well, I have to tell you, we should all appreciate each other, shouldn't we? We could do a little more of that in this city and this country. Actually, some love and respect and appreciation. Don't you agree? I want to express my love and respect and admiration and appreciation for the love of my life. She was talking about some program. I only heard a little bit of it. Do you know how much it costs? It's free. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. But Charlene has had an extraordinary audacity to believe that we could speak out loud about mental health, educate people, inspire people, help people come forward and need help, love them, embrace them, and get them the help they need. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Let's thank her. So everyone, I'm going to be quick, but I want to say something from the heart. And it begins with an acknowledgement that these history months are so meaningful if we make them meaningful. If Black History Month or any community's History Month becomes a very vague ritual, we do not honor those who came before us. If we remember for a moment, then go on with our day-to-day lives and we don't do anything differently, we kind of miss the point, in my opinion. Black History Month is here to educate and inspire and activate us all. And we remember this time of year the famous names and the heroes. We all need to always do better at remembering the unsung names, all those people who fought for change and stood up for themselves and their community. We didn't necessarily get to know them, but they changed our lives and our worlds. And even when they are gone, they live on if we pick up that vision and we live it out and we fight for it. So, to me, when we gather, we're going to celebrate. It's a party, it's a good time, but it's also a recommitment. And I'm going to talk to you about one of the issues we are coming to grips with and what I think we all need to recognize at this moment. Before I do that, though, I have an opportunity to just thank some people, so let me do that quickly. First of all, we love when the Museum of Natural History opens up for all of us. Let's thank Ellen Futter and everyone here at the museum. Then we have some wonderful public servants behind me, and they are making history all the time, so I'm going to say them name after name, give them some warm and rolling applause. Deputy Mayor Phil Thompson. Deputy Mayor Raul Pereira Hense. Our school's Chancellor Richard Carranza. Our Fire Commissioner, Dan Nigro. Small Business Services Commissioner, Greg Bishop. Human Rights Commissioner, Carmelyn Malalis. Media and Entertainment Commissioner, Ann Del Castillo. Veterans Services Commissioner, Lieutenant Colonel James Hendon. Community Affairs Commissioner, Marco Carrion. City Planning Chair Marisa Lago, Executive Director of our Office to Prevent Hate Crimes in Every Community. We're going to stop hate crimes in New York City. Deborah Lauder, thank you. Director of Operations Jeff Tham Kitikatsum, and someone who helps us put together these wonderful events, Executive Director of the Mayor's Office of Special Projects, Community Events, Melissa Brown, thank you. And a special thanks, he represents this community in the City Council. We thank you. Councilmember Ben Kalos, thank you. So, I'll be quick but to the point. There is a discussion happening in New York City. There's a discussion happening in America. It is decades overdue. We are finally talking about what justice looks like. We are finally talking about the truth of what it means to have safety and fairness at the same time, of what policing should and should not be. We're having the most open dialogue about racial justice that we've had in our history. And that inherently is a step in the right direction, but we have a lot more to do. And I will be pointed about noting that an issue has come up now again the last few weeks, is back on the front pages, and it should be on the front pages, because it is a touchstone for understanding all these issues. Once again, we are talking about the issue of stop and frisk. Now, some truth is being told and some lies are being told. But whenever something gets to the front of the discussion, it's an opportunity to set it straight. I want to be very honest with everyone, all of you in this room who joined with Shirlane and me to end that broken, unconstitutional policy. I want to thank you for that. I want to be very clear about what it was. It was a purposeful effort to degrade and devalue young black people. Let's be clear. It was a systematic racist policy, guised as a necessary public safety strategy. Guess what? Many of us, policing experts said it, clergy said it, civil rights leaders said it, elected officials said it, community leaders said it, that in fact was never a necessary strategy. It was a counterproductive strategy. It was a harmful, painful strategy. And by the way, if I said to you, I've got something that'll make your life great, but it will degrade your children, take away their hopes, take away their value, take away their self-confidence, would you say, oh, that's okay? But we never had that dialogue in New York City the right way, did we? It was foisted upon us. Our children were treated like criminals. I cannot tell you how many times my heart broke when I heard of a young child, a middle school kid, a high school kid going to school, exactly where we want him to be, going to work, going to community college, and being stopped and physically patted down and treated like they were a part of society's problem. What could be a more horrible contradiction? So, our government attempted to take away the value that all of us had placed in our children, our grandchildren, our nieces, our nephews, and they almost got away with it. But the people had a different idea, didn't you? And there was an incredible movement in this city, and this strategy, this policy was fought and it was overcome. It was overcome. Well, when you hear a lie, even at such a positive event as this, there is no bad time to point out hypocrisy. So a few weeks ago, my predecessor said he made a mistake. I think he had most of a decade to recognize he made a mistake. I think a lot of people pleaded with him to understand it might be a mistake and expressed the pain and the agony that the community was going through. And he doubled down. Thank you. A mistake is when you do something wrong once, and then you realize it and you fix it. When you do something wrong 700,000 times in a single year, that is not a mistake. That is injustice. That is discrimination. That is oppression. So, this is not a partisan statement. This is a statement about what happened here in our city. But do not let the history be rewritten. Speak up in your own voice as to the truth you saw and you experienced. You, so many people in this room and so many others, ended that tragedy. And then we finished the story with this point. As we all were turning history's tide, as we all were changing the reality, so many doubting Thomases and naysayers, and we can give you all of their names. They were mayor, police commissioner, editorial boards, elected officials, police union leader, we could go down the whole list, said that crime and chaos would ensue. Guess what, brothers and sisters? We ended stop and frisk and the city got safer for 6 years in a row. We have proven they were wrong all along, and in fact, by stopping it, we are now allowing a real relationship to start to develop between our police and our communities. Real neighborhood policing, real human-to-human connection, real mutual respect, so we can have real safety for everyone, for officers and communities alike. And here is the beautiful coda, the epilogue here on this story. A few weeks ago, our new police commissioner, Dermot Shea, gave a speech. He said something that I would tell you was a 180-degree opposite turn from where his predecessors were 10 years ago. And he said the NYPD will now devote itself to reaching out to young people, to mentoring them, to respecting them, to helping them with the challenges in their lives, to going to their families to see how they can help. If a young person is struggling, if a young person might be tempted down a negative path, the NYPD's business now is to be part of the solution for that young person. The idea is not to police young people, but to reach young people, to help them. We can keep this city safe. In fact, we can make it safer if we go to the root, which is helping young people live the lives they deserve to live. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity to get that off my chest. Thank you for all you do, every single one of you, for this city, for the neighborhoods you come from. When we gather everyone, we also celebrate today's community. By definition, we celebrate all the contributions people are making. We celebrate the love for New York City. I didn't ask you, I just assumed. Do you love New York City? Sorry, there's a little echo in here. Do you love New York City? Are you proud New Yorkers? Well, then you know this city is capable of great things. And now I have someone great to introduce to you. And we have an honoree this evening who showed through her work that we could have new examples of leadership, new examples of what people could aspire to. And she didn't just start doing this a little while ago. In the year 1993, she portrayed a very new reality we had rarely seen, playing at that point on television the role of Lieutenant Anita Van Buren of the NYPD on the show Law and Order. Now, if you didn't see those shows, those episodes of Law and Order, you can turn on your TV at any hour of any day, and you can see everything that ever was on Law and Order. But our honoree provided a vision of justice, provided a vision of empowerment. She went on to win an Emmy and a Golden Globe. There's only one thing I have to say about her past that you need to know. She's a wonderful human being. She was not born in New York City. She was born in Detroit, but we got her. So she is a New Yorker now. And we love Detroit, but she is a New Yorker now. And so, it is my great honor to introduce to you Esapetha Murkison. Now, Esapetha, I want you to just help me. You know all about Hollywood and all. If you just hold that. This proclamation, my friends, it speaks about her artistic achievements and her renown and her impact. But I think the thing you need to hear is the last sentence. And it says, I, Bill Deblasio, Mayor of the City of New York, do hereby proclaim today, February 25th, 2020, in the City of New York as Esapetha Murkison Day. You get to step up.
Okay. Ah! There you are. New York, New York, the Big Apple. This is really exciting. Mayor de Blasio, First Lady McCray, thank you for this evening. This is pretty incredible. And there are some people here this evening that mean the world to me, and I just want to acknowledge them. My partner in love, Stephen Williams, is here, and my dear, dear friend, Raquel Metcalf, who it really plays like he's my little brother. Barbara Montgomery, who I have known since my very first days here in New York. She is not only a friend, but a mentor as well, and makes a great martini. Lisa Berg is here. Sandy Jackson and Gordon Tunnison are here, my very new friends that I've met through my love, Stephen. And Liz Pecora-Sadowski is here, who is an agent and who negotiates really well. So you want to keep her in your corner. And to all of you in attendance, you know, the question that I had was, how does this happen? How does someone end up receiving an honor of a day in their name and in one of the most important cities in the world? So I thought about what has happened to me recently, and I had the opportunity through the PBS show Finding Your Roots, hosted by Henry Louis Gates, to trace my ancestry. It was an amazing revelation, as I have lived in a family system where we don't really pass on stories. But through the research in DNA, it was discovered that my fourth great-grandfather, and we're talking about Black history now, my fourth great-grandfather was the first name listed on a manifest of sale from a tobacco plantation in 1838 Maryland. Isaac Hawkins, along with 3 generations of my extended family, now known as GU 272, were sold to a plantation in Maringouin, Louisiana, the place of my mother's birth. That plantation in Maryland was owned by Georgetown University, a university run by Jesuit priests, and that sale of my family was sanctioned by the Pope to save the university from closing. So on this day, this Essie Patham Murkerson Day, in the year 2020, wouldn't it be awesome if there was a way to let them know that their troubles were not all in vain, that they carry me, that I stand on their shoulders, that their strength became my strength, that I am a direct link to generations of people who survived so that I could thrive. Okay? So today, as you honor me and the memory of people whose names I have only recently come to know. Isaac Hawkins, Patrick and Letty Hawkins. You honor, come on down. I'm gonna take my time. You honor Nace and Bibby Butler, Sam and Betsy Harris. You honor Hawkless and Easter Mulmore, my grandparents, Charlie and Pearl Bowen. And you honor my mother, Anna Bowen Murkerson. And from all of us, I thank you.
He's very tall. Give her some more love. Wasn't that beautiful? You said it all, and you make us all proud, and you make New York City proud. Everyone, enjoy this celebration. Enjoy being with each other. Feel strong from it. Feel that we are going to go ahead and do great things together. Thank you. God bless you all.